Krist Novoselic, she, obviously when you have a band with Kurt and Dave, like you got two powerhouses, sometimes he can be overlooked, but he was so integral to the band as well. In your experience working with him, how is he like as a musician and a person?
He's fantastic. I mean, he's highly underrated, or at least overshadowed as a musician. But he's such a huge part of Nirvana. And it's like, I think Dave once said, I played in so many shows. He said, how many shows Chris played in? He said all of them. And that's really true. And I know that from stories that Chris told me, like even in the early days, Chris was doing a lot of the load-ins. Chris was very protective of Kurt. It was very much a Sam and Frodo kind of a thing. I mean, Chris really fostered Kurt's ability to do what he did. And I think that you really need these two elements. And, we tend to gravitate towards the one who's, he's the singer-songwriter who's out front. And then, and I think that Chris was perfectly happy to be in the background and let Kurt get all the attention, because it was very overwhelming for everyone. And I think he was as private of a person as Kurt was, but he had the luxury of not having all the attention.
Do you have any funny memories of Krist Novoselic in particular? Because he was a prankster too, right?
Yeah, and he and I were very close during that time and neighbors, and there are so many stories. We did so much crazy stuff together, and it was hilarious. One of my favorite, I think one of the funniest moments with him was, I remember going over to his house and we were hanging out, and I think that it was like a last minute thing. He said to me that I think it was the Melvins were playing down at this club called Rock Candy in Seattle. And he asked if I wanted to go down there. And I said, yeah, sure, let's go down there. Let's just go surprise them. We won't even, call or try to get on the list or whatever. So we were standing out in line waiting for the doors to open, waiting in line for the Melvins. And so at one point, I think they were kind of late opening the doors. And there's a lot of people in the line who are looking at this, this guy, he's really tall, and it's obviously Chris from Nirvana. And at one point, Chris gets kind of impatient, and I think he says something like, come on, open the doors. He said, don't you guys know who I am? And I remember, like, there's this moment of silence. It was like, oh no. And he goes, I played Latka in the hit TV series Taxi. And so with that, it was like, it was just incredible, because he looks so much like him, and it's just his sense of humor is so off the charts.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this interview clip of mine with Earnie Bailey, make sure to subscribe for more, because there is a lot more coming. Everything on my channel is 100% original. I'm the one conducting all the interviews and doing all the editing. So if you want to support me, the best way to do so is simply to subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.